The rain pounded against the windows of Hollow House, a decaying mansion nestled deep within the dense woods. For years, the locals had whispered tales of the house being cursed, and on this stormy night, 5 friends were about to find out just how true those rumors were. The friends, Sarah, Mark, Emily, James, and Lily, had decided to spend the weekend in Hollow House, seeking an adrenaline rush and the thrill of a spooky adventure. Armed with flashlights, sleeping bags, and a Ouija board, they entered the mansion with nervous laughter, dismissing the unsettling feeling that crept over them. The foyer was grand but shrouded in darkness. The walls were adorned with faded, eerie portraits of the long-deceased Hollow family. As they explored the house, the creaking floorboards and the sound of whispering wind through the cracks added to the eerie atmosphere. "Let's start with the Ouija board," Mark suggested. The group agreed, huddled around the wooden board with trembling fingers. They placed their hands on the planchette, and Sarah began to ask questions. "Is there anyone here with us?" she whispered. At first, nothing happened, but then, slowly, the planchette began to move, spelling out ELIZABETH. The friends exchanged nervous glances. "Elizabeth," James repeated, his voice quivering. "Is there anyone here with us?" she whispered. At first, nothing happened, but then, slowly, the planchette began to move, spelling out ELIZABETH. The friends exchanged nervous glances. "Elizabeth," James repeated, his voice quivering. As if in response, the planchette moved again, spelling out HUNGRY. The air grew colder, and a chill ran down their spines. Suddenly, a gust of wind extinguished their candles, plunging the room into darkness. Panicked, they fumbled for their flashlights, and when the beams of light cut through the blackness, they saw a shadowy figure at the end of the hallway. Emily screamed, and they all turned to see a spectral woman in a tattered wedding dress floating towards them. Her eyes were hollow sockets, and her bony fingers reached out, beckoning them closer. Terrified, they fled into another room and barricaded the door. Their hearts pounded as they realized they were trapped in Hollow House with a malevolent spirit. In the dim light of their flashlights, they began to explore the room. It was filled with old books and journals. The pages were filled with desperate scribbles, detailing the tragic story of Elizabeth Hollow, a bride who had died on her wedding night, poisoned by her own husband. The journal spoke of her vengeful spirit, forever trapped in the house, seeking revenge on anyone who dared to enter. The group now understood why Hollow House was abandoned and shunned by the townsfolk. Hours passed, and the friends tried to contact the spirit again, desperate for answers. This time, Elizabeth's presence was stronger, her anger palpable. She spelled out LEAVEORDIE. As they sat huddled together, the walls of Hollow House seemed to close in around them. The ghostly apparition of Elizabeth appeared before them once more, her ghastly form now emanating an aura of malevolence. With a blood-curdling scream, she lunged at them, and they scattered in terror. Sarah, unable to move, felt icy fingers grip her throat as Elizabeth's ghost drew closer. Just as Sarah's vision began to fade, Mark grabbed the Ouija board and, with all his strength, threw it at the ghostly figure. The planchette struck Elizabeth's specter, causing her to wail in agony before vanishing into the darkness. Gasping for breath, the friends regrouped, and together they ran from Hollow House, never looking back. The rain had stopped, and as they reached the edge of the woods, they glanced back at the mansion, which now stood eerily silent in the moonlight. The legend of Hollow House lived on, but they had survived its terrifying secrets. They vowed never to speak of that night again, haunted by the memory of the vengeful spirit that lurked within the decaying walls. Hollow House remained a dark, cursed place, a chilling reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed.